Did you know that nailing the exact right moment to harvest your leeks can literally transform their flavor and maximize your yield? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the dirt to master one of the most rewarding, yet kind of misunderstood, crops in your garden. We've pulled together the best research and expert gardener insights to give you a complete visual roadmap for the perfect harvest. So, back to that question, timing truly is the ultimate secret weapon here. Pull them too early, and you're missing out on that gorgeous, thick, blanched stem we all want. But leave certain varieties in too long or handle them roughly, they can turn bitter, go completely mushy, or just bolt into these tough flower stalks. We are definitely going to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Okay, here is exactly how we're breaking this down today. First, we'll look at the leek life cycle. Second, spotting that perfect harvest moment. Then, we'll dive into climate and soil factors, followed by the tools and actual harvesting techniques. After that, we'll cover post-harvest care and storage. And finally, we'll wrap up with key takeaways and some room for experimentation. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the leek life cycle. Botanically speaking, the leek is officially known as Allium ampliprosum. It's a biennial, cool season plant, and yeah, it's a very close cousin to onions and garlic. But here's the catch. Unlike onions where we want that big bulb, we grow leeks for the stem. That thick, blanched white cylinder is actually just a tightly packed bundle of tender leaf sheaths. Keeping this unique growth habit in mind is absolutely crucial for everything else we're going to talk about today. Moving right along to Section 2, spotting the perfect harvest. When are these guys actually ready?
Well, knowing your specific variety is step one because it completely dictates your timeline. Summer leeks and winter leeks are basically a totally different ballgame. Summer leeks are fast, like 80 to 100 days fast. They've got light green leaves, they're super tender, and you've got to get them out of the ground before hard frost hits. Winter leeks, though, they are slow growing. We're talking 180 to 300 days. They feature thick, blue-green leaves and are incredibly cold hardy.
But no matter the season, the golden rule for harvesting comes down to size. You're generally looking for stems that are about 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter. You also want to see at least 3 inches of that beautiful white stem above the roots. Now, you can totally leave them in longer if you want giant leeks, but this 1 to 1.5 inch mark, that is your standard gauge for peak flavor and texture. Now, you definitely need to watch out for this massive red flag, bulbing. Because leeks are in the onion family, it is so easy to just assume the base should swell up. Nope. Swelling at the base of a leek is actually highly undesirable. What you really want is a firm, perfectly straight cylinder from top to bottom. Let's move into Section 3, climate and soil factors. How does your environment impact the timeline? Well, as one seasoned grower from the gardening community perfectly put it, leeks like a fair bit of nitrogen and plenty of water, especially since they're in the ground for such a long time. It's so true. Leeks have remarkably shallow roots, only reaching about 18 to 24 inches deep. This makes them incredibly heavy feeders that will really suffer if they dry out. They need constant, even moisture to plump up to that perfect harvestable size. Just to put this long growing season into perspective, let's look at a standard timeline for a tougher climate, like Zone 1. You've got to start your seeds indoors a full 10 weeks before your last frost. Then you transplant them outdoors about 28 days before that last frost, usually when they're about the thickness of a pencil. From that transplant day, you are looking at roughly 120 days until your first harvest in early autumn. So yeah, early planting is literally the only way you're getting a bountiful harvest. And while you're prepping that soil, you need to hear this wild fact from agricultural research regarding salt tolerance. Leeks are moderately okay with salt, but they have a very strict threshold. For every single unit increase in soil salinity above 774 parts per million, you lose 10% of your fresh harvest weight. That is a huge drop-off. So having well-drained, high-quality, properly leached soil isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential. Okay, let's get physical with Section 4, tools and harvesting techniques. Here is your foolproof step-by-step extraction plan. Step 1, you must loosen the soil all around the plant with a garden fork or sturdy trowel. Step 2, reach way down and grasp the leek as close to its base as you can. Step 3, give it a gentle twist while pulling straight upward. And finally, Step 4, once it's free, grab your pruners and trim off those long roots at the bottom and snip away the tough outer leaves at the top. I really cannot emphasize Step 1 enough, and neither can the experts. The Master Gardener Association of San Diego County warns, if you try to pull out a plant without loosening the soil, the stem may break. Leeks have a crazy thick network of roots anchoring them down. If you just go in with brute force, you will literally snap that gorgeous white stem right in half and ruin months of waiting. So loosen that dirt. Section 5. Post-harvest care and storage. You've got them out of the ground, now what? So because leeks grow by pushing up through hilled-up soil, they are notorious for trapping gritty dirt right where the leaves fan out from the stem. You have to wash them thoroughly. The best trick is to slice the whole leek lengthwise right before cooking so you can fan out the layers under running water. You'll also want to trim those outer leaves into a clean V shape. Oh, and here's a really weird but crucial storage tip. Keep them away from apples, grapes, and figs. Leeks are super sensitive to ethylene gas, which will turn their green leaves yellow. Plus, they give off an oniony odor that your fruit will just soak right up. For actual storage, you've got 4 main options. In the fridge, the sweet spot for maximum longevity is a crisp 32 to 41 degrees Fahrenheit with high humidity. They'll hold up for 2 to 3 months. Freezing them, you gotta blanch them in boiling water for 3 minutes and shock them in ice water first, but then they're good for up to a year. You can also go old school root cellar style, bury them in a tub of damp peat or sand for 2 to 3 months. Or, honestly, my favorite method, just leave them right in the ground. The reason that in-ground method works so well is because of this number right here, 15. Winter varieties of leeks can survive out in the freezing dirt down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Some absolute champions can even handle 10 degrees. If you heavily mulch them with some straw, this lazy gardener method of leaving them outside and just harvesting them one by one as you need them all winter long is totally viable and highly recommended. All right, let's bring it all home with Section 6. Key takeaways and experimentation. If you only take 4 things away from this explainer today, make it these actionable steps. First, definitely identify your variety's timeline so you know if you're racing a frost with a summer crop or riding out the snow with a winter one. Second, aim to harvest at that 1 to 1.5 inch diameter mark, making sure there's absolutely no bulbing at the base. Third, always loosen the soil with a garden fork before you pull. And fourth, pick the storage route that actually fits your lifestyle and cooking habits. Now, I do need to toss in a quick disclaimer here. While everything we've covered is backed by research and solid best practices, your mileage is absolutely going to vary. Your own backyard's microclimate, your specific soil health, and whatever the weather decides to do this year will dictate exactly how your leeks behave. Use these guidelines as a starting point, but adapt them to your unique setup. Which leaves me with one final question for you. Are you ready to get your hands in the dirt and experiment with harvesting your own flavor-packed leeks this season? I really hope this explainer has left you feeling empowered, curious, and just itching to put this structured knowledge to work. Go check those seed packets, start prepping that soil, and get ready for a phenomenal harvest. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.